I didn't even know there was direct.
Yeah. On Monday. You should try it.
No, I'm good. I'm back home 6:30 in the morning Sunday.
Hello and welcome to the pre-race press conference for the drivers for the 2023 Grenco Hyderabad E-Prix. Welcome to the stage. First of all, we have Sam Bird from Jaguar TCS Racing, Jake Dennis from Avalanche Andretti, and Sebastien Buemi from Envision Racing. How are you doing, gents?
Very well.
Happy to be here in India?
Static.
Good, good. Right, starting with you, Sam. Good results and consistency in Diriyah, bringing back from a pretty tough weekend in Mexico City. Do you think you'll have the opportunity now to build on those results and challenge, keep moving away up the grid, moving up the order?
I mean, that's the plan. Jake and Pascal were clearly the pick of the bunch, and have been the pick of the bunch over the first three races. They've been outstanding. It's up to all the other teams and all the other drivers to raise their levels a little bit to try and catch those two guys, because they are certainly performing at a super high level. I felt like, especially race 2 in Diriyah, that I was a little bit closer. But yeah, we'll need to see. I certainly feel good with the team and with the car right now, but we'll need to see what happens this weekend.
So across the 3 race locations that we've had so far, we've had quite drastically varied different layouts and conditions. What are your opinions on the track here? Now you've done a walk this morning, and some of the things that you need to be especially aware of as drivers?
You need to be very aware of the bats down the main straight, because they're very big. No, it looks like a very interesting track. I enjoyed driving on the simulator actually. In all honesty though, I'm not particularly happy with turn 1, 2, the chicane. I think we can do a much better job of this. The rest of the circuit doesn't look too bad. I'm concerned with the runoff at turn 3. But the chicane at turn 1, 2 doesn't look ideal. The rest of the circuit, yeah, it's good fun, really great fun to drive. It should be a very interesting track once it grips up a little bit when the dust is removed. Yeah, I'm looking forward to driving it.
So racing in India for the first time as a championship, and obviously with the title sponsors and team association with TCS with India, how important is it for you and the team that Formula E is pushing into big new markets like India to grow the sport, reach new fans?
I mean, this one for us at Jaguar is a massive one, massive market. Our title sponsors, Tata, are over here, TCS. So yeah, very, very big race for us. But just in general, like, yeah, looking at new locations, whether that's over stateside, whether it's on different new continents. You know, it'd be nice to get out to Australia. It'd be nice to get more races in America and get more exposure over there again. So yeah, I think it's key for Formula E to continue to grow and go to some different venues.
Okay, moving on to you, Jake. Incredible form so far, great race results. Has anything changed with the way you approach racing, or the team, or the relationship with the team that's helped you start the season off as strongly as you have?
No, not really. I just have a quicker race car. That's all it is. I think last year I had a very good qualifying car. You know, you could always generally qualify the car quite well, and in the race, just with BMW departing, we were always like a year up behind in terms of development, and we just really suffered against the top teams in race performance. And this year it's sort of roles reversed. You know, I feel like I do a good lap, and we're still missing like maybe 3 or 4 tenths. Especially to the McLaren at the moment. But yeah, there's no denying it. We have a very fast race car, not just in efficiency, but also setup. We do have a very good minimum speeds, and the balance is working well. But yeah, in terms of the way I approach race weekend, I'm still the same Jake as I was when I first arrived, still pretty relaxed and just go about my business. You know, when you start 11th, you really don't have much pressure on yourself. You just want to try and survive turn 1 and then do the race, but you don't expect to finish second. So it was great to see, just for everyone in Formula E, that, you know, we were all a bit sceptical if we were going to be able to overtake, and there was 46 overtakes in Saudi, so that was really good. And I think there'll be more here if the race plays out how it should, hopefully. So it looks a really good circuit. Looks like there's going to be plenty of opportunity to overtake, and yeah, I look forward to driving the circuit.
So as we mentioned with Sam, pretty changeable conditions and track configurations so far. But with what seems like a pretty consistent Porsche powertrain, how well do you think it can perform on this track? Will it suit your package?
I think so, yeah. I think generally it does more straights, we generally do better. So Saudi, it was quite easy to defend against us in certain periods of the race, especially at the start. Thank Buemi for that. The first 18 laps of race 2 being stuck behind him. But yeah, I think here, if you ever spend into 3, you'll probably be vulnerable at 1 and 16. So I'm confident that we can have a good race car. It's just how competitive we are in qualifying. We need to start in the top 8. And if anything further forward, that's it, then a bonus. But yeah, if you're outside the top 10, no matter how quick the car will be, it's going to be difficult to get the podium, which we're all striving for.
How have you been settling in with Andre Lotterer as a new teammate so far this season? How's the relationship been working together, getting the performance out of the car? Maybe leave the dinner from last night out.
Yeah, Andre's a great guy. I had a good relationship with him over the past 2 years of Formula E, and then for him to join us this year, he's very much like me, very relaxed, doesn't take life too seriously, and just enjoys what he does. But yeah, obviously on track and in all the meetings, he brings great value, and we generally always want the same direction from the car, so that's always quite good, and we don't sort of veer off too far away from each other. So yeah, great knowledge, great guy, and someone very valuable to have in the team.
Great stuff. Now moving on to you, Sebastian. You've had some of the best consistency of any driver so far this season, but the podium has just narrowly escaped your grasp. What's needed this weekend to both maximise performance and get a top 3 finish?
Yeah, I think we have to be better in the race in general, because starting from pole in the race 1 and finishing P4 is disappointing. Obviously, I'm still trying to learn with all the systems. To be honest, it's totally different to what I've experienced for the last 8 years. So, I'm still sometimes wondering what I need to look at and how to basically improve the car once the race has started. So it's slowly getting better. I'm trying my best, and I guess that with more races it will become easier, obviously.
So just to follow on from that, experienced drivers such as yourself, Sam, Lucas, have adapted pretty well to the Gen 3 so far. How does your knowledge of electric and hybrid powertrains and the other categories that you race in help you learn new systems? Are there any processes that you're able to carry on from each category?
Yeah, I was lucky enough to drive with the 4-wheel car before with the hypercars and the LMP1. So obviously there are a few things you learn, that the regulation is quite strict. There are not many things you can actually change or influence on. So clearly, yes, it does help a bit, but it remains a kind of single-seater, so it's still different somehow. And then I think the level is really high. It depends on the team and the car. Of course, the driver is making a bit of a difference, but I did not drive much better this year than I did last year. It's just, I have a better car. So I try to do the best I can, learn, maximize the opportunities, and then I guess we'll see in a few races. But I'm quite confident in Jaguar, because they are pushing really hard. So even if we are missing a bit of pace right now in the race, I'm sure at some point we'll figure it out.
Okay. The Jaguar powertrain on the Envision car seems to be one of the strongest on the grid, up there with the Porsche. How pleased have you been with the team adapting to the new challenges of Gen 3 and getting the car in good shape for you and Nick?
Yeah, I had a really bad Valencia test, didn't do many laps, and then even an FP1 in Mexico that was not great. So obviously I got into Mexico with not much of an experience, but they are doing a good job. I think Envision is a strong team in trying just to extract the most out of the package they have. And Jag, they've done a good job. They were competitive last year, the previous seasons. This year they are up there as well. I think in qualifying we've showed that we are up there. Maybe the McLaren are even better than us, but we are up there. It's just in the race we need a little bit more pace. Yeah.
Okay, we've got a bit of time for questions from the floor, if anyone has one.